USA Softball takes great pride in being the national governing body of softball in the United States and recognized by the United States Olympic and Paralympic Committee for the commitment to the well-being of the members in our organization. This reputation for providing the best of the best in all aspects of the game is built on a foundation of 80+ years in sanctioning the sport of softball, a foundation that we will continue to build upon. The U.S. Congress designated the U.S. Center for Safe Sport with the authority to respond to reports of sexual misconduct within the United States Olympic and Paralympic Committee by passing the Protecting Young Victims from Sexual Abuse in Safe Sport Authorization Act of 2017. This legislation, also known as S-534, designates the U.S. Center for Safe Sport to serve as the independent national safe sport organization. The U.S. Center for Safe Sport also has the additional responsibility to develop national policies and procedures to prevent the emotional, physical, mental, and sexual abuse of amateur athletes. Many of our members have been misinformed that this federal law affects only those national governing bodies under the umbrella of the United States Olympic and Paralympic Committee, but that is not the case. This federal law extends to non-national governing body sports organizations who engage in interstate or international commerce or activities. Interstate competition refers to sports organizations that travel across the state lines to compete. But even those that do not travel across the state lines are impacted by the act because it sets a new standard of care that will likely apply to all organizations in time. Most states will also move to pass state-specific legislation that directly applies to sports organizations that do not cross state lines. USA Softball, under United States Olympic and Paralympic Committee Bylaw Section 8.71c, is indeed under more strict requirements from the U.S. Center for Safe Sport in regards to implementing abuse prevention training and other measures to reduce one-on-one interaction between adults and minor athletes. However, this should be viewed in a positive light as we continue to set the standard for athlete safety and well-being. We take protecting our members both on and off the field seriously and are dedicated to building and maintaining a supportive and nurturing environment in which our participants may flourish and grow. We are the leaders in the sport of softball, and as such, our commitment to athlete safety is unmatched. Simply put, USA Softball will not tolerate any abuse, whether it is emotional, physical, mental, and sexual. That is why for over 10 years, USA Softball has required background checks for adults on the field of play in our youth, or what we call Junior Olympic program. Since the introduction of the U.S. Center for Safe Sport, the United States Olympic and Paralympic Committee has developed a minor athlete abuse prevention policy, and USA Softball has further developed additional policies designed to protect our members from various types of misconduct and abuse. With the resources afforded to us by the United States Olympic and Paralympic Committee, we are being given a guided path through the U.S. Center for Safe Sport process with a set of checks and balances that ensure we continue to stay on the right track as we carry on our position as leaders in the sport of softball. USA Softball is the first softball organization to implement these measures, but we hope we aren't the last. By taking the U.S. Center for Safe Sport courses, USA Softball members will come to learn that in order to prevent abuse, one needs to know and understand not only the signs of abuse and misconduct, but how to prevent them. The information that is contained within the U.S. Center for Safe Sport courses will help members monitor and support one another, thus limiting emotional, physical, mental, and sexual abuse. In order to properly implement the measures put forth in the U.S. Center for Safe Sport Code and Minor Athlete Abuse Prevention Policy, the USA Softball Board of Directors and General Counsel voted and approved on November 14, 2019, an important piece of legislation in the procedural code that requires all adults on the field or dugout must have a background check and be Safe Sport certified for the current year. So what does this piece of legislation mean? It means that anyone 18 years or older who serves in a position of authority over athletes or have regular contact with athletes 17 years and younger must complete a background check and complete the U.S. Center for Safe Sport courses. It is in the hope of USA Softball in making this change that we can continue to create and uphold the traditions of excellence in softball by building and maintaining a supportive and nurturing environment in which our youth may grow, develop, and prosper. We know that the implementation of this policy will be viewed as burdensome by some, but this is not the first time USA Softball has implemented athlete safety measures such as this. We were pioneers in implementing background checks before they became the norm in youth sports. Please remember that this policy change is just another step in USA Softball's commitment to athlete safety. We hope that all of you will continue to work with us in order to promote not only the game of softball, but also the safety and well-being of all those that love the game as well. Thank you.